Welcome back to Superbly Said Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases.
And today we're drilling down into 9 really powerful terms from a recent SpeakDuo lesson.
That's right, number 1194. It was based on that TED Talk, Why Are People Starting to Sound Like ChatGPT?
A fascinating topic.
It really is. And remember, you can go to SpeakDuo.com to meet new people and practice your English speaking live.
So these phrases are, well, they're perfect for advanced learners who want to add that extra layer of complexity and nuance.
Exactly. Let's just jump right in. First up, perception gap.
Right, and a perception gap is so much more than just a simple misunderstanding. That's the key.
A misunderstanding feels temporary. Like someone just missed an email.
Yeah, easily fixed. But a perception gap? That's deep. It's systemic. It's a fundamental difference in how entire groups of people see reality.
So if you're in an IELTS exam, you wouldn't just say, oh, different generations should talk more.
Not at all. To address the perception gap, you'd have to talk about, the different economic realities or how technology has shaped their entire worldview.
And in a work context.
You'd say something like, the audit revealed a severe perception gap between management and the engineers on the project timeline. That signals a huge problem.
Okay, next up is distortion.
And again, this is one that's easy to oversimplify. It's not just about lying.
No, it's more subtle. Think about it compared to exaggeration. To exaggerate is just to make something bigger.
Right. But distortion is about changing the shape of the truth, twisting it.
It can even be unintentional, right? Like with social media filters.
Exactly. That's a perfect example. Those filters create a massive distortion of body image standards, not by exaggerating one feature, but by creating an entirely new, skewed reality.
And at work, you might warn your team that only reporting the good news creates a distortion of the actual risks we're facing.
It creates a blind spot, a very dangerous one.
Okay, let's move on to a verb. To outsource.
And the key distinction here is with the word delegate. They seem similar, but they're worlds apart.
So to delegate is, what, assigning a task to someone on your team?
Yeah, exactly. It's internal. But to outsource, that's a major strategic move.
You're moving an entire function, like payroll or IT support, to a completely different company.
A third party. It involves contracts, legal agreements. It's a structural change.
So if you're asked in an exam if it's better to do things yourself or outsource them.
You need to talk about core competencies, cost-benefit analysis. It's a business question, really.
A good work example would be, the board decided to outsource our entire logistics operation to a specialized firm.
That's a serious business decision, not just passing off a task.
Let's look at an adjective now. Latent.
Ooh, I like this one. It sounds so...
full of potential.
It is. But how is it different from, say, dormant?
Well, a seed can be dormant. It's just sleeping, waiting for the right conditions to do what it was always going to do.
Okay.
But latent implies a potential that has never even been seen or recognized. It's hidden deep inside.
Like a hidden talent. Precisely. Everyone has some latent ability that, just needs the right opportunity to come out. It wasn't just sleeping. It was undiscovered.
So a company might have latent growth potential in a new market.
Yes. The potential is already there, existing under the surface. You just have to find a way to activate it.
Okay, next up is a phrasal verb, to tap into.
And this is so much more active and skillful than just to use or to utilize.
Right. To utilize something just means you're making use of it. It's very functional.
But to tap into, that implies you're accessing some deep, powerful resource.
Like a source of energy or emotion.
Yeah, or a market trend. It's like drilling for oil. You're skillfully finding and accessing a vast reserve that was previously untouched.
So a good writer can tap into the shared emotions of their readers.
Yes, through relatable stories. They're hitting a nerve, not just using a literary device.
And a marketing campaign could tap into 90s nostalgia.
Exactly. Accessing that deep well of collective memory to create a powerful connection.
All right, now for a cognitive bias, survivorship bias.
This one is so important in today's world, and it's a very specific type of selection bias.
So selection bias is the general term.
Right, but survivorship bias is when we make the mistake of only looking at the things that survived. The successes.
And we completely ignore all the failures that fell along the way.
Which gives us a totally skewed picture of reality. It makes success look much easier than it is.
So in history, survivorship bias means we only see the beautiful buildings that lasted for centuries.
And we forget about the thousands of other buildings that collapsed. It makes the past seem more glorious than it was.
At work, this is crucial. We can't just study successful billionaires.
No, because that creates a huge survivorship bias. For every one of them, there were thousands of people with similar ideas who failed. We need to study the failures, too.
Number 7 is to amplify.
And this is stronger than just to boost, isn't it?
Yeah, to boost something is maybe to give it more energy, like boosting morale.
But to amplify, that's about increasing the volume, the intensity, the noticeability of something.
Like turning up the dial on a speaker.
Exactly. It makes something that was already there much, much louder and more extreme.
So you could argue that money doesn't change a person, it just serves to amplify their true character.
It makes who they are on the inside much more visible on the outside.
And we see this all the time with social media, right? It tends to amplify extreme opinions over moderate ones.
Definitely. It acts like a megaphone for the loudest voices in the room.
Okay, number 8, provocative.
And the nuance here is the difference between something that's provocative and something that's just...
Controversial.
Controversial just means people disagree about it, right?
Yeah, there are two clear sides. But provocative is more active. It's designed to get a strong reaction. It's intentional.
So it's meant to provoke a response.
Whether that's anger or deep thought or debate. A provocative film is one that challenges you and makes you think for days afterward.
It wants to shock you out of your comfort zone. Exactly. Which is why you might say an artist's provocative work isn't suitable for a corporate lobby. The intention is to incite a reaction that's maybe too strong for that setting.
And our final term, to conform.
This one is all about social pressure, and it's different from simply to comply.
How so?
Well, to comply is to follow a specific rule or an order. You comply with safety regulations. It's a direct action.
It's transactional.
Perfect word. But to conform, that's a much broader, often unconscious pressure.
It's about aligning your behavior, your style, your beliefs with those of a group.
Right, to fit in. So when we debate whether it's better to conform to society or to be unique, we're talking about that huge cultural pressure.
So a product has to comply with a law.
But a teenager feels pressure to conform to the fashion trends of their friends. One is about rules, the other is about belonging.
That makes it very clear.
Okay, that was a pretty intense deep dive.
It was. So now let's see if it all stuck. We're going to move into a quick quiz.
Right, this is to test your recall and your ability to apply these terms. We'll give you a sentence with a blank and 3 options.
Only one option will have that precise, advanced meaning we've been talking about. Ready?
Quiz question 1. Advanced AI models are now so sophisticated that they can flawlessly the regional accents of various dialects.
Is it option A, replicate, option B, mimic, or option C, mirror?
Feel free to pause here if you need a moment to think.
All right, the answer here is option B, mimic.
Exactly. While replicate is close, mimic suggests a more detailed and nuanced imitation of behavior or sound, which is what AI is doing with accents. It connects to our idea of distortion. It can mimic perfectly, but is it original?
Okay, question 2. Critics argue that the structural output of generative text is often too to be considered truly creative.
Your options are option A, systematic, option B, conventional, or option C, predictable.
Go ahead and pause if you need to.
And the correct word here is option C, predictable.
Right. While it might be conventional, the core criticism is that you can almost guess what it's going to say. It lacks surprise. It's too predictable to ever be truly provocative.
On to question 3. The speaker's delivery caused the audience to lose interest despite the high importance of the subject matter.
Option A, monotonous. Option B, repetitive. Option C, unvarying.
Take a second to think.
The best choice here is option A, monotonous.
Yes, monotonous specifically refers to a tone of voice that doesn't change in pitch, making it very boring to listen to. The speaker is just trying to conform to a script, not engage the audience.
Question 4. Linguists are observing how certain corporate jargon terms slowly blank on natural everyday conversation patterns.
Is it option A, dominate, option B, take over, or option C, supersede?
Feel free to pause.
The most precise and formal term here is option C, supersede.
It means to take the place of something that was there before. It really captures how corporate culture can amplify certain words until they push out or supersede more natural language.
Question 5. English is a highly blank language, allowing for significant shifts in meaning through minor changes in syntax.
Your choices are option A, flexible, option B, dynamic, or option C, versatile.
Pause here if you'd like.
The correct answer is C, versatile.
That's right. Versatile means it can adapt to many different functions or activities, which perfectly describes how English can be used. It points to the latent power within the language's structure.
Okay, question 6. In digital spaces, users tend to content that utilizes a specific, highly optimized style of prose.
Is that option A, engage with, option B, interact with, or option C, respond to?
Go ahead and pause.
The best answer is option A, engage with.
Yeah, engage with implies a deeper, more active involvement than just responding. It shows that the creator managed to tap into what the audience is looking for.
Almost there. Question 7. The professor sought to the distinction between technical proficiency and genuine linguistic fluency.
Your options. Option A, highlight. Option B, emphasize. Option C, underline.
Take a moment.
And the answer is option B, emphasize.
Right. To emphasize is to give special importance to something in speaking or writing. The professor wants to close the perception gap between what students think fluency is and what it actually is.
And our final question, number 8, while your arguments are technically sound, they a pre-written script rather than a spontaneous thought.
Is it option A, echo of, option B, resemble, or option C, sound like?
Last chance to pause and think.
The best fit here is option B, resemble.
It suggests a strong likeness. When your speech starts to resemble a script, it feels like the thinking has been outsourced and that authentic spark is missing.
And that's the quiz. Hopefully that helped lock in some of these concepts.
Yeah, the goal here is to move beyond just knowing the definition. It's about using these nuanced terms correctly to really elevate how you communicate complex ideas.
Exactly. Don't just know what a perception gap is. Use the term to point out a deep, systemic issue. Understand that distortion isn't just a lie.
And always be aware of things like survivorship bias in your own thinking. That's the real next level.
So, the challenge for everyone listening is to try and use one or two of these in a conversation this week. See how it feels.
We invite you to continue that journey and practice alive at SpeakDuo.com. And feel free to submit your own work for feedback anytime.
Keep challenging yourself, and thanks for joining us for this discussion.